We have a good one today, don't we? If you've been following the news, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if not, I'm here to catch you up to speed. Today, we're talking all about the Dutch government resignation scandal. Boom, 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 boom. I'm filming this on Monday, so as of the previous Friday, currently there is no government in the Netherlands. Mark Rutte and some of the people that are affiliated with the current coalition government have resigned. Now, what the heck is happening? Government in Netherlands resigns after benefit scandal, according to New York Times. Now, I'm going to be linking all of my sources down in the description, so if you're curious to find out more, please go check those out. In this video, I will be sharing some of my personal opinions about what is going on. A parliamentary report concluded that tax authorities unfairly targeted poor families over childcare benefits. Prime Minister Rutte and his entire cabinet stepped down. And there's a picture of Mark Rutte stepping down, walking with his briefcase, and what does he do? He gets on his bike. Yep, he's cycling to the King, Willem Alexander, to actually give his resignation and make it official. I know. Who cycles to give their resignation? Only in the Netherlands, ladies and gentlemen, only in the Netherlands. And I'm actually quite a fan of that. So this is one of the reasons why I upload Rutte, not only because is he being sustainable by taking the bike to give in his resignation, but the fact that he actually resigned in the first place to begin with. Now, why am I saying that? It's simply because I come from a country, for those of you who don't know, I'm from Turkey, where a lot of the things that happen because of the government, people that are in the government don't necessarily always or ever take responsibility for. So for me, this is actually such a breath of fresh air. The reason why I'm saying that is because it is so admirable that they take responsibility for their actions and they're not trying to sugarcoat things and just stay in power because it's nice to stay in power. But is that so? And we will get to that in a minute. So let's go back to this article and see what has actually went down. So Mark Rutte is actually one of the longest serving prime ministers in Europe. Fun fact, if you didn't know that. And he resigned on Friday over a report highlighting systematic failure by his government to protect thousands of families from overzealous tax inspectors. Tax inspectors! Let's take a pause here and let's talk about the tax authorities and the tax system in the Netherlands. Now, the Netherlands being a relatively social country, meaning that if you're not earning a decent enough salary and if you're below a certain threshold, you're able to apply to certain benefits. So you have rental allowances, housing allowances, childcare benefits like the ones that we're talking about right now, which are about the scandal. And you also have things like healthcare insurance benefits. Now, are these inherently wrong things? No, they're not. They make sure that everybody in the country, regardless of income level, still live relatively a high quality of life. I myself in the past have applied and received rental allowances when I was studying, and I currently still do receive health benefit insurance from the government. So I'm not complaining. I feel like these are quite beneficial for people like me or people who are worse off than me that don't have the certain financial means to pay for some things that actually need to be paid for. But let's see why this could be actually a more alarming thing that I'm making it out to be in this video. Now, this scandal didn't happen last week or the last month. From what I've been reading, it's actually been going on since 2012, which means now for the past 8-9 years, the government has been wrongly accusing these families over these child health care or child benefits in general for a very, very substantial long amount of time. And I'm there wondering, in a country and a government as organized as the Netherlands, I'm very, very surprised. Why has nobody else really done anything about this before it actually exploded until, now, which is basically 2 months away from another election in the Netherlands. I wonder if this is actually something that they're using to get re-elected. Maybe they're trying to like buy some emotional votes from people. Could that be? This sounds kind of familiar. No, it can't be, can it? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments, guys. What do you think? But going back to some of the things that Mark Rutte has owned up to that I find personally very admirable are mistakes have been made on all levels that have led to great injustice for thousands of families, said Mark Rutte in a news conference. Innocent people have been criminalized and their lives destroyed. This cabinet has taken full responsibility. Say what you want, I sincerely admire that. On the flip side, basically since 2012, what has been happening is that the authorities have been investigating families. Very many of them have been wrongfully accused of getting extra money from the government without having gone through the formal process, let's say. And basically, if you live in the Netherlands or if you're about to, you know that the moment you get that blue envelope of death, as I like to call it, because you know that that means it's coming from the tax authorities, they tell you exactly how much money they owe you or you owe them depending on the situation. So what I'm taking here is that these families have been receiving these kind of envelopes telling that they own a very, very substantial amount of money to pay back to the government. And here we're not talking about your typical fine like 300, 500, maybe a couple of thousand there, but I believe they're demanding 5 figures to be paid back. In the case of these families, obviously they're not able to pay this back. It's not like, oh yeah, let me just dig deep into my pocket and yeah, give you all my money that I happen to be saving. Well, if these people were actually that well off, first of all, they wouldn't actually be applying for these childcare benefits now, would they? So that sort of brings about the point, a government that's so organized, how can you actually oversee how this can escalate into something bigger? There are question marks there, and if any of you have any more insight into what's happening, please let me know down in the comments. Let's talk about this. This is serious. This is happening right now. According to another source, these families have already been taking a lot of action. And during the process, I read some very unfortunate things, that some marriages ended up in divorce. People had to go through even more financial debt to pay off this debt that the government was demanding back from them. And many other traumatic ways that people could experience this. So I really am so sorry for anybody who went through this and they're still going through this. It is very, very wrong. And I'm so happy the government actually took responsibility and stepped down. However, though, this brings about another series of questions because there is going to be another election in the Netherlands, March 17th. Is the Mark Rutte government just trying to get some sympathy to get re-elected? Or are they sincerely sorry and they're stepping down without any kind of hidden agenda? I'm going to leave the floor open to you. You can decide and see what is going on. And as I'm wrapping up this video, I really want to point out here that I really sincerely hope the government recovers very, very quickly. And I really hope that Mark Rutte or someone else will get re-elected and there will be another coalition and that things will go back to order again. Because until then, the Rutte government is actually going to be kind of like a caretaker government. I have no idea what that means. But I feel like, especially in this time that we're going through, there needs to be a government to take care of things. Mr. Rutte said that the report that led to the downfall of the cabinet was hard as nails, but fair. And with that, I'm going to be ending this video, linking all the sources down in the comments below. Let me know what you think the future of the country is going to be. And until then, as usual, don't forget to stay awesome.